I take a lot of pride in is you don't see a whole lot of guys out there. There's a kind of a small group of us that still write, sing, and play and do it from the base root of it. If we didn't have anything else, we can still do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for that. Music has always been, it's just what I do. Mm-hmm. It's just what I do. I learned the rest of it, but performing and singing was just always what I've done. Writing songs, I had to learn that. I had to learn. You mentioned new single. It's called Holdin Her, and it's about my wife and kids. I had to learn to write songs. I had to learn to craft them well. I had never written a song when I moved to Nashville. I didn't even care about it because when you come from a small town like I do, I just thought everybody, of course, wrote their own songs, and they just sang their own stuff. It didn't even register to me that there was a career to be had as a songwriter and an artist. And so I came here, I started honing my craft, and that's my favorite song I've ever written to this day, and it will be in 50 years, it will be my favorite song I've ever written. It's when I met Kelly, my wife, I met her in Nashville. I think home is where you start your family and where you put your own roots down, and home is here for us. Williamson County, Tennessee, just down the street from Nashville. And I saw her for the first time, fell completely in love. Didn't get to even really speak to her in a full conversation until the years upcoming, and then 3 years after I saw her for the first time, and I claimed it. I said I'm going to marry her, and I did. I did the exact thing, and that rolled into making a house, a home with her, and having my 2 bonus kids in it. And bonus kids are what the world calls stepkids. And I married into that, and it was a real shocker for me in the most positive light. It really grew me up, and I knew I had something to live for other than just myself and the music business. And shortly thereafter, when we had Georgia and Jesse, my 2 youngest ones, that just made 4, and all in the same. And that single, it's resonating with people on so many different levels because I've come to find out that it's more people's story than just mine. A lot of people, a lot of the way of the world is divorced homes. It's families coming together and uniting in different ways, and kind of in ways that people have never seen before, which is pretty miraculous. Mm-hmm. And Holdin Her is just the epitome of all of that. And even though it's a very traditional country chorded love song, mm-hmm. It's still I think it has a fresh enough take on it that it's something that I always knew would work, and mm-hmm. You just have to get those opportunities. And thankfully, I've got a great team that let me just be myself, breathe, and make the kind of music that I like. And you know what? You can never go wrong listening to the fans. Yeah, country music people, when they ask for something, when they naturally gravitate towards something, you just give it to them. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't be more proud of it.
The song, like even you reference, you met her in a pool hall.
Yeah.
So
here in Nashville.
If for those of us that grew up playing in bars, pool halls, pool tables, small stages, all those things, I can visualize this song. I totally get it.
Yeah, man.
But you seem like a fairly clean living, pretty spiritual guy to me now.
Yeah.
I mean, when I know how it was for me, but when do you feel like you turn the corner from I'm just going to bang on a guitar and live hard and be a country singer mm-hmm. to I'm a family guy and I'm going to straighten my world up here?
Yeah. Well, I think as you well know, and a lot of us well know, there's a fine line. However, I think you can walk both lines and just lean heavier on the family man side. Does that make sense?
Of course it does.
You have to be you have to have just enough angsty troubadour in your life to make the music, I think, worthwhile. And you have to, for me personally, I have to have 95% of the other mm-hmm. to even just get up in the morning. So I'll tell you, I think I know when the pivotal moment was. I mean, when you mentioned spiritual, you pegged it. I'm not a preachy guy, nor am I a real religious person, frankly. However, I met the Lord in 2001, and that's really where my personal pivot point came from. Now, I met the Lord, and then I went on a crazy, wild into my 20s, right? Okay, and I learned and I got in the music business years later. And
what's meet the Lord mean?
Well, that means that I just gave my heart to Jesus. April 13th, 2001 in Shelbyville, Tennessee. And but that was way pre-music business, and then I got into it, and I sort of lost a lot of it. You know, I got very worldly. I learned a lot of things, which I don't regret any of. However, you know, when I was able to marry Kelly, and I just knew it. I mean, it was a no-brainer moment for me. When you find the one that you're going to spend your life with, and you know that, and you have children in my case immediately. You know, the last date we had, we still date, but the last date we had when we were both single, I quit drinking. I was 13 beers deep and having a great time, by the way, and could still drink to this day and still really enjoy it. However, I just didn't want to have that kind of, I didn't want that vibe to be around me. I didn't want my kids to be seeing that. And even though they're my first two are my bonus kids, I mean, they're my kids too. And I just didn't want that to be around, and I wanted to make a change. So I became extremely addicted to Mountain Dew, as I've always been. And but I'll tell you, man, you know, a pivotal moment for me too was not just on the personal level, but songwriting is very personal to me, and so is my artistry. Everything just kind of goes together, and that's just the way that I am. I wear it on my sleeve, and I was writing songs, you know, for a few years there, pre-marriage and everything, pre-seeing Kelly in the pool hall, etc., to where I was just trying to fill voids in my life, I think, and fill music business voids, and trying to get famous, and just trying to do what we all do. When I got with Kelly and the kids, I had a reason to write. I had a reason to try to make a real living, try to make real money, and you know, that matters when you're a dad and a husband, and you're the provider, and you have to work really hard. And she was very supportive of that, and that was a very pivotal change. So I would have to say that July 4th, 2010, that was our first year that was our first day we got married, and that's our anniversary. I would say if I had to stake it, that would be it. That'd be my pivotal turning point.
July 4th.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
Yeah. And it's an easy date to remember for both of us. I mean, it was like, whether I have record deals, pub deals, whether I have any kind of success, which I'm so grateful that I do. I mean, I'm so grateful for the success that I've had and the success that keeps coming with music. It truly is a blessing. It's an unbelievable job that you and I both get to do. And I don't take it for granted at all. I used to take it for granted. There was a lot of years in my younger years before those pivotal turning points where I took it for granted. I think that anybody with any job can admit that at some point in their life. We take life for granted sometimes, and we really shouldn't. And it's so short. And you know, it's just been such a blessing. And when you get the kind of things that have happened over the last year in my life, and you know, even years prior to that, whenever I started getting cuts as a songwriter, those things really meant a lot to me and my family. It wasn't just about fame and notoriety or anything like that, or money, frankly. It was just about making a living and having a substantial job to support a family. Yeah. And you really nailed it at the beginning of the conversation. That's really what I'm all about. And that's the epitome of Holdin Her, the single. It's really the epitome of starting with Buy Me a Boat. I mean, even though Buy Me a Boat has nothing to do really with family, or it's just kind of a fun, kind of summary kind of song, it's my means of doing things and doing things my way. And it opened the door for Holdin Her, and it gave me a voice to sing songs like that. And, it established an even bigger fan base to hear songs like that. And thankfully they're hearing it and taking it well.
Well, a lot of people never get the chance to get it off their chest and put it in those kind of words. I wrote poems for both my kids before they were born. Like right before they were born. Yeah. Like even when Barb's in labor and I'm waiting in the hospital, I wrote these long, kind of just fun, silly poems about how I was feeling, and these kids coming, and finished it like when they were born. The last 2 or 3, 4 lines, or whatever they turned out to be.
Hey, can someone bring me my phone? I want to read you. You just hit something. Can someone bring me that? I gotta read you something.
Cool.
God, I had no idea how. I had no idea how on the same page we are here.
But it's neat that it's neat that you've got a song now, no matter what else happens, that's about your life and your love.
It's a testament, man.
It's
a timeless song that lives through different times.
Yeah.
I want to read you, and I didn't mean to stop you, but you just really hit a heartstring there with me. So you talk about poems. So as a songwriter as well, I write poems, and I wanted to read you this. You'll really appreciate this, I think.
All right.
I wrote it when Kelly was in the hospital. We were in the hospital, and it's a very short little thing. It's more of a sonnet. But on March 21st, 2014 at 12:17 p.m., I wrote this down on my phone, and it says, and every dad's been here, by the way. You've been here. You've been here. 12 wooden planks on a hospital bench. Here I am sitting, and I'm scared to death. When they just wheeled you back, it was hard to ignore the feeling I got when you passed through the door. My life's about to change again, and here we are today. It's a miracle how Jesus works in mysterious ways. 27 years of life, and all that I can see is a future with me. It's a future with you and the kids and me. Nothing has mattered until this moment today as I sit here and wait on these 12 wooden planks.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Kids change your life, man.
Well, it was...
Gives you a reason.
Amen. And so the 12 wooden planks is the bench, obviously.
Sure.
And, as a dad, when you're in there, it's hard to think about anything else, right? But they tell you, oh, it's going to be cool. See you in a second, right? And no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. So I put 27 in there. This was 27 when it happened, and that was for our last
So you
little
didn't
baby.
go in there when she was having the baby?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, absolutely.
Did, yeah.
But, it's like they have to do all the prerequisite work and everything and get it going. And it was just a freaky moment. So I was sitting on that bench, and I just started counting stuff. I'm like, all right, just elephants and chairs. Whatever. It's like, what do you do? And it felt like a really bad co-writing situation. It's like, what am I going to say right now? Just count the planks on the boards.
I remember the doctor going, "You want to cut the cord?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to cut the cord. What's wrong with you? I'm a freaking songwriter, dude. You cut the cord.
I can barely stand in here, bro." But moments like that, and since you said poetry, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I do the same exact thing. And it means a lot. I think it says a lot for the kind of humans that we are, and I think it says a lot for songwriting, and in reference to songs like Holdin Her, it's the reason that I wrote it, and the reason I write songs like that. And they are far and few between. They're not easy to write.
We're lucky we have a way like that to express ourselves. Because imagine there's no dude out there that's been through that doesn't have the same feelings and emotions, inside, and no way to get them out. So I guess we are just blessed with that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in, Chris.
I appreciate you, brother.
Good luck
Thank you.
with your single.
Thank you very much.
It's it's country. I admire you for just putting out something from the heart that means something. I think anybody that hears this is going to get it.
Thank you.
And let's hope it finds its way and
you can never go wrong with
gets
real.
the success it deserves.
So I thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, cool.
Thanks, buddy.